Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay, and I'm a terminally online individual and historian who probably reads way too much news and has too many opinions about it. And like I do most weekends, on Sunday, I like to give you my thoughts of what some top stories were and make sure that you're staying educated about things. So let's get into this. This is for the week ending on October the 12th, 2025. And so our first story is we're about to enter the third week of the government shutdown. And that's actually not cool because that means starting on, let's see, today's 12th, on starting the next pay period for folks is the 15th, so government employees aren't going to be getting paid. Speaker Mike Johnson has canceled all the votes and sessions for this week, upcoming week. And so that means be 3 straight weeks of the Senate doing their job, Democratic representatives are in Washington trying to do their job, and of course Marjorie Taylor Greene is also hanging out in D.C. trying to get her Republicans back. So as a reminder, this shutdown is really about Speaker Mike Johnson trying to prevent the Epstein files from being released by refusing to swear in Democrat from Arizona, Adelita Grijalva, into office. Once she is sworn in, she will be the 218th individual to sign that Epstein Files release petition, which will force Speaker Johnson to release those to the public. As not aware, Speaker Johnson is in cahoots with the Trump White House, and along with the vast majority of GOP representatives, not including Marjorie Taylor Greene nor uh, Thomas Massie nor uh, Nancy Mace nor Lauren Boebert, as those four do want Epstein files released. The rest of them don't. They know that they're pretty sure Trump is in those files and that he also partook, not just knew about, but also participated in the same crimes Epstein did. So they're just really the shutdown is just about the Epstein files, and we need to remind everyone of that constantly. Now, don't worry about the armed forces; they're still going to get paid. Trump's found a way of doing that by beginning to lay off non-essential workers. Although, as of this morning, the ones from the CDC have had their layoff canceled. I should also note that this is setting up the federal government for massive lawsuits, as a lot of federal employees are union workers, and as you know, unions have you know collective bargaining agreements, which are essentially a contract between the employer and the union, which dictates, okay, how much can you pay, what benefits you get. Uh, yes, you can't get laid off without having union rep there. So yeah, that's that. And like I mentioned, Marjorie Taylor Greene has become a major thorn in the side over the past couple of weeks regarding the shutdown, as she's actually making a lot of sense uh, with her. Uh, One, she's in D.C. She's going on the talk shows, be like, "Hey, look, we need to get back together. We got to do." She correctly sees that the longer this shutdown goes on, the more likely it's going to cause the GOP to lose even more seats than what they would normally do in the midterms after they're a president and take has come into office. Usually they come in with a bunch of their own folks and take the House and Senate. So usually the first 2 years of the term at this point kind of have done. But yeah, with this continuing shutdown, Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, there's gonna not be a blue wave next year. We get like this, there's gonna be a blue tsunami. And I should also remind you that the House is barely led, but barely has a GOP minority. I mean, it's like 2-3 seat majority. So this Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to get her folks together and get their act together, and quite wisely. Now, as part of that, I do expect that this weekend, coming up weekend on the 18th, there's another No Kings protest that will be happening at cities nationwide. And I think this shutdown is actually going to cause this upcoming weekend's No King protest to be even larger than the one back in June. I went to the one in June. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the one this coming Saturday, as I will be volunteering at a local community center for the LGBTQ plus community, doing some work, and that's really the only excuse you have to skip out on No Kings if you're pro democracy, pro constitution, pro pretty much everything the exact opposite of what the current GOP is. If you're not at No Kings protest, I hope it's because you are helping out a marginalized folks through a local community charity, as that is also a great way to resist what the Trump regime is trying to do, is not just protesting, but going out in the community and helping out. And speaking of the Trump regime, there's, as you know, in the past couple of weeks, there's been a couple of major indictments. First of all, with former FBI Director Comey, who we know, and I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, had been indicted. The next hearing for him, and this is really the first pretrial hearing, is going to be on the 20th, so a week from tomorrow. And Comey's attorneys have already filed not only a motion to dismiss, but also the motion to compel the prosecutors to release all of the discovery. As of the time I conducted the research and recording, the Eastern District of Virginia, which the U.S. Attorney's Office, has only released one single page of discovery material. I will note that this is highly unprecedented, as most prosecutions will have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of pages of discovery material to turn over. And this is just a general indicator that the Department of Justice has nothing on Comey that will hold up in court. And I do know one thing that is good for Comey is that he had asked for a January 12th of 2026 trial date. And the judge was like, yeah, actually, you cool, we're moving up a week. So this case, if it does not get dismissed through motion practice, is scheduled for a January 5th trial date. And this is a very smart move by the defense, as the Department of Justice it's less than 3 months out. The DOJ has no time to not only find more evidence and police discovery, they're going to be rushing to prepare their case. And this just bodes well for Comey. Like I said, I'm still expecting this to be dismissed before it even gets to trial, just because of how ridiculous this case is. And even more ridiculous is that an indictment has come down against New York State Attorney General Letitia James. And she's most famous as the one who brought the civil fraud case against Donald Trump and the Trump Organization and other defendants, and that's that $500 million disgorgement that's been ordered and is still on appeal at this stage. But this indictment is even flimsier than the Comey one, as there's only one count of mortgage fraud. And so the situation was, a few years ago, Miss James had purchased a home in Norfolk, Virginia for her grandniece, but DOJ, without any evidence, is claiming that she purchased this home for under false pretenses in order to use it as an Airbnb, even though there's no evidence to do that. I do expect Miss James and her attorneys to not only enter a not guilty plea, but ask for a very early trial date, like Comey, trying to rush this and not give DOJ a chance to case ready. Fortunately, we can end on a bit of good news in the world, as the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded this week, and it has been awarded to a very, very deserving individual who is fighting the pro-democracy cause, and that is Venezuelan Maria Corina Machado. She has been a key leader in the opposition to Nicolas Maduro, the current authoritarian president of Venezuela, who, she's such a threat to Maduro that he actually prevented her from running for president in 2024, knowing that he had a chance to be elected and end up probably be, unlike in the U.S., going to jail for crimes they commit office. And she is currently in exile in Latin America. I do support her efforts. I do think that what she's doing is a good thing, and is doing what she can to not just uh, promote democracy globally, but also make sure that her home country is able to uh, get out from under authoritarian and return to being a representative democracy. Of course, as you can imagine, the White House did respond negatively to this, as they believe that the Nobel Peace Prize should have gone to Trump, especially after this week's Gaza ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel, which I do not want to drag that ceasefire agreement through the mud, as it's actually holding the mass genocide that is conducting against Palestinians. But the Nobel Peace Prize Committee did say that not only did Trump not meet the criteria set in place by the will of Alfred Nobel for the Peace Prize, but the decision was actually made before the ceasefire agreement occurred. So, and it's also looking more into it. The nomination would have had been submitted before January 31st of this current year, because like with reporting your taxes every April, you're doing it for the Peace Prize is awarded for not just lifetime efforts, but efforts that have been going on in the previous year. And Trump was not in the presidency last year, and so if Trump can follow through and get a permanent peace in the Middle East, and maybe somehow decide, oh, maybe I actually do need Putin and Zelensky to come to agreement and in Korean War, then and before January 31st, then I think he might have a little bit stronger of a case. But of course, all the occupations of Portland and Chicago by ICE actually hurt his chances. But with all that said, that is everything I wanted to talk to you guys about for this week, the week ending in October 12th, 2025. I hope you liked what I had to say, found some value out of this, and of course, please like, subscribe, and share to this. Should you choose to make any comments, please be kind to each other, and I will see you again next week, and hopefully with some good news. All right, bye bye.